Hi, I'm Sandy Schroeck for LBR Inspires, and today we're going to be taking a look at a seasonal novelty trend that's a succulent pumpkin design. So we are still seeing succulents trend as far as purchases. The younger millennials really like the succulents and are still embracing them. They come in so many different varieties and textural differences. Sometimes now there's some variegation and stuff. We do have LenBusch grown succulents that come in a 2-inch and 3-inch succulent assortment. So that's what we're going to be using today to create these succulent planters. You can see here we have a couple that we completed. We have some pumpkin ceramic containers that come in that updated matte finish. So the matte finishes are something that are trending more than that really glossy kind of artificial look. And so these containers are a great vessel to be able to make these designs in. Another way to show them would actually to be including one of our LBR grown. This is a Calendiva plant that comes in the orange. We've got calanchos in yellow and some other blooming. So this is the larger one. It has the 4.5-inch plant in there that's grown locally. And then we've also added in some of the dried accessories. I'm using the pod assortment today. These are some of the different selections that you can see that come in the pods assortment. They're on a wood pick already. So it's really easy to tuck those into your arrangements or plants to add that additional decor. And then I've also used some reindeer moss. And we have this coming in 2 colors, in a brighter green and then a more subtle, lighter colored green. I've got kind of those mixed in there. So we're using reindeer moss to just tuck in the top to kind of finish that off and give it really more of a professional appearance. One of the biggest mistakes that people make with succulents is the overwatering. So one of the keys to success on that is adding a drainage layer. And so today we're using some of the river rocks, and this is the regular mix. And then we do have a pebble assortment mix as well, depending on the scale of the project that you're doing. But this is going to allow us to have a drain field inside a ceramic container that doesn't have a drainage hole. You could drill in a drainage hole too, but this is my solution to add that pebble layer in for that drainage. So now we've got that ready to go, where you can see that I have about 1 inch of the pebbles in there. The next thing I'm going to use is actually a succulent and cactus soil mix. And this soil mix is specifically made so that it does drain more and doesn't hold as much water. So that's the soil mix that we're going to use today. Going into this pumpkin container, before I put my plants in, I'm going to put a good layer of that soil in. And you can see, because of the shape of this, I'm actually going to take it and press it all the way to the sides so that I'm not having to fill in all of that soil once I've gotten the succulents in there. Now I've got my pumpkins prepared with the soil mix pressed to the edges and that drainage layer in there. And then I've got a space in here to be able to drop in some of the succulents. So we're gonna go ahead and choose some of these succulents from here. And this is one of the 3-inch assortments. And just depending on the size, so I'm just coming in, pressing that into place. And then I have another 3-inch one coming in. Just gonna tuck that in there. And then finishing up just with a little 2-inch here. Now I've chosen plants in this collection to be the variety of different colors. On here, you can see in this vessel that I've chosen complementary colors. That's more of a monochromatic mix. So there's lots of ways to create additional visual interest with those. And then I'm just gonna come in and finish up adding some soil in. Because I prepared it well, I don't have to add a ton of soil in, but I'm just using my fingers to just make sure that we get it down in. We do want it to be a little bit recessed so that you are able to add water easily into this as well. In this one, I'm just gonna do one single succulent. So this is one of the 3-inch succulents. So this is a locally grown Minnesota product. So you are able to promote that, coming from a family-owned business right here in Plymouth, Minnesota. Okay, so now that we have our succulent plantings done, what we want to do is add a little bit more visual interest. So by taking some of these pods from the pod assortment that already come on that pick, I can bring those in and just kind of reinforce the succulent shape coming in and adding a little bit more visual interest that will draw the consumer in to these succulent compositions. And you can see just even adding those 2 pieces just makes it a little bit different. But on here, and some of these pods almost look like stems of the pumpkin here. So you could come in, add a little bit of that to come in, or some other decorative pieces. You've got a sponge mushroom. Right now I like to use, you can see that I added some of that into that calancho. And here I almost like to use the back side of it. Has a little bit more textural quality on it. And texture is one of our biggest trends that we're seeing right now. And then come in with some little pods that are a little bit more size appropriate. And I'll just cut those down a little bit and just have them come right in here as a little bit of an accent. So it almost looks like another type of plant, maybe went into seed or something like that. But so it can be very simple or more complex. And then just for professional finishing, just to tuck in a little bit of this reindeer moss, just elevates it and adds that professional finished look that as florists that we want to provide. And so we're just going to come in here and add a little bit in this one as well. And let's take a look and see what other kind of pod we could add in here. I think these pods would be a really fun look to add in as well. So we're going to come in with those coming in too. So you can see by this collection of the ceramic pumpkins combined with the LBR grown succulents, and then a little bit of accents coming in from those designer pods and the reindeer moss used as finishing material, is a great way to really upgrade your novelty seasonal look. So I hope you'll take these tips and techniques and use them to create some fabulous fall florals.